Free Willy, the animated series. The show that asked the question, what if that heartwarming 90s family drama about aquatic friendship was f***ing crazy and had a cyborg? The episode opens up with Jesse excitedly racing towards the ocean and leaping onto a killer whale. The two friends frolic about in the water, and it's clear they have a whole weird bond going on. When they finally emerge from the water, Jesse is like, oh crap, I forgot I'm supposed to start a new job today, and now I'm late. So Willy rips him over to his new workplace. He's wearing his bathing suit. He's got no shoes. He's soaking wet, and he's gonna show up on the back of an orca.
Completely unprofessional.
It's so unprofessional.
Save that for week 5 or 6.
Meanwhile, at the local wildlife rescue facility, it's feeding time. And out in the healing pond, there's a traumatized seal who comes whimpering out of the water in hopes of being fed. But Marlene says, sorry, you're not sick enough to be fed today. But the starving seal is so pathetic that she tosses him one sympathy trout. And then the head marine biologist, Mr. Noggle, is giving a tour to the investors. And that's when Jesse and Willy come blasting out of the water, scaring the shit out of the investors and pissing off the employees and also re-traumatizing all the animals that are in this pond. And Mr. Noggle gives Jesse the death stare. And Marlene is like, dude, you can't bring a killer whale into the healing pond. This is a safe place for troubled ocean creatures. You see all the seals we have here? The killer whale is literally a predator for seals. And Jesse's like, Willy, he's just a big pussy cat. And then Willy creepily licks his lips, and the seal is disgusted by it, so he slaps him across the face.
When Lucille slapped Willy, that was a top moment for me. Lucille put Willy right in his place. Someone's got to do that to Jesse, to be honest.
Yeah, Marlene should have slapped Jesse and been like, we're trying to do science here.
He should have been fired right on the spot.
And restraining order. Don't come near this wildlife facility again, you maniac.
All he talks about is Willy. Even when Marlene starts to talk about how the ocean is dying and there's pollution, and he goes, well, I bet you think it's Willy's fault. It's like, nobody said that. Stop talking about Willy for 1 second.
And then Marlene is like, please tell me you're not the new brat Randolph hired. And then Randolph walks up and is like, I see you've met the new brat I hired. And then Randolph and Marlene go to unload the supply truck, and Jesse is given his first task of feeding the animals. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the ocean, we see a menacing sub. And inside the sub, some crazy bullshit is happening. A green goop monster hands a can of WD-40 to a cyborg, who uses it to loosen up his stiff cyborg joints.
I think even more than the cyborg, the green slime henchman just confused me so much. At least I can I go that's a whale, that's a guy, that's a robot guy. But what the fuck are these?
This is amoeba. I don't know. He reveals its evil plot. He wants to mine at the site of the wildlife reserve with a special machine to get all the gold that is surely there. And nothing can stop him. Not even that meddling whale, Willy. Indicating that Willy and this cyborg have a past? Question mark? But he has a plan to deal with Willy now. He's created a whale-seeking torpedo, and he says, I owe that bucket of blubber for what he did to me. Indicating that maybe he's a cyborg because of Willy?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Willy stopped him from doing some underwater mining and ripped half of his body off.
So then the cyborg sub randomly lands and starts mining. And the mining process looks really stupid because these arms come out of the sub and just start pawing at the ground, doing some really ineffective digging. Back above water, Jesse has neglected his duties and fed all the fish to Willy instead of the sick animals. Which is probably the biggest dick move that he does in this show, because that's unforgivable, right?
There are so many strikes against this kid on his first day of work. It's just a laundry list of offenses.
It's even beyond just the workplace. It's you're a bad human. You're depriving these sick animals of their food because you prefer your whale. Since the seal is not getting any fish, he's really bummed, so he starts swimming away. And he realizes that as long as this kid is working here, he's better off in these dangerous cyborg-infested waters. Next, I guess Jesse is bored of working, so he just starts doing cannonballs off of Willy. And Marlene shows up and is like, for f***'s sakes, this entitled little brat thinks he could just come here and get an easy paycheck. We're trying to save sick animals here, not do water aerobics with one of the ocean's deadliest creatures. And Jesse says, you have to chill out, Marlene. Do some cannonballs. I have a PhD in marine biology, you condescending prick. And then she explains that pollution is bad. Meanwhile, the starved seal, in its search for sustenance, encounters the evil cyborg submarine, and it kills him. Back at the reserve, Mr. Noggle is like, wait, you wasted an entire day's supply of fish by feeding it to your pet whale? I'll give you one more chance, kid, but you gotta get rid of the whale, obviously, right? But Jesse stands his ground. He says, if Willy goes, I go. Perfect. Get the f*** out of here, you weirdo.
Yeah, we can get a 14-year-old co-op student any day of the week.
Jesse and Willy, they take off, and Randolph is really disappointed in him. So Jesse and Willy are goofing around in the ocean when they find the murdered seal. They bring it above water and realize it's still alive. Then Willy says, we better take the seal back to the wildlife place. Jesse is like, wait, what? You can talk now? And then the seal starts talking too. It says, help, the cyborg hurt me. And Jesse is really freaked out and thinks he's losing his mind. And then he goes to try to talk to them again, and they suddenly lose the ability to talk. So Jesse comes to the conclusion that he probably has a concussion. So they return to the reserve, and Jesse takes Randolph to the side and is like, I think I can talk to animals. It's pretty crazy. And Marlene steps out from behind a tree and wants to be included in their conversation. So they all sit down, and Jesse tells them the whole story. And Randolph is like, you're a truth talker. A truth talker is a special kid who can talk to animals, but you have to focus. Otherwise, it won't work.
And that's all. That's all. He does not go any further into it. He just says...
A truth talker is a special kid. So no adults can be truth talkers?
No.
Then Jesse tries again to talk to Willy, but it doesn't work. And Marlene is like, this is really dumb. I actually have work to do. And Jesse decides to ask for his job back and is instantly rehired. And his second task, after failing to feed the seals, is to go for a ride on their high-tech mini-sub.
Not a chance in hell I'd let that kid into the sub.
He's going to use it to just like scratch Willy's back or something.
Yeah, big time.
He's going to use it to mate with Willy somehow, and it's going to just be very uncomfortable. We don't want to see. He likes Willy too much. And also, it's reciprocated. Willy also likes him a lot.
They have a special bond, for sure.
In the sub, Marlene explains her tragic backstory. She says, when I was 7, I had a pet otter. We had fun, just like you and Willy. We did awesome cannonballs and everything. It was great. Then he got stuck in an oil spill and died because the oil in his fur weighed him down, so he drowned.
Jesse kind of goes like, oh, I wasn't listening to that. I was thinking about Willy. What did you say?
Yeah, that story was boring because Willy wasn't in it. If you could just revise it, that would be great. With Willy instead of whatever you said. Then they descend to the bottom of the ocean, and Jesse is like, wow, the ocean is so beautiful. And Marlene says, if we don't take care of it, our kids will have nothing. What a horrible thought. You mean that the humans are destroying the earth? No. That I'm going to have kids someday.
What a zinger.
Pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
What a zinger.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Jesse can pull out a good one when he wants to, when he's not just talking about Willy.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't want to have kids. They'd get in between him and Willy.
Yeah.
It would be a huge issue.
Why would you have a kid when you've got Willy?
And they end up running into the cyborg sub, and the cyborg attacks them. Luckily, they use their exterior camera flashes to blind him and escape. But the cyborg catches them again and is about to kill them when Willy rolls up and tail whips the cyborg sub. And their sub is damaged and starts taking in water and is stuck on an underwater cliff. Willy attacks the cyborg some more, ensuring his death. But then the cyborg's second sub retrieves his sub, so he's fine. Then he shoots the whale-seeking torpedo, but Willy outruns the deadly missile and does his signature jumping out of the water and over a small island to escape the deadly missile, just like how he does in the movie poster. Only this time there's a cool explosion behind him.
How many times are they gonna pull this trick, I wonder? If you watch like the whole show, do you think... I
he's got to do it in every episode.
Yeah. I think he's probably jumping over a bunch of rocks a few times, just to remind you of that moment.
In like the actual movie, to do the jump scene, they had an animatronic Willy, so this big robot whale, and they needed to launch him over the island. So they stuffed him into a rocket launcher and shot him over the island to create this beautiful moment.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, we'll just put the whale in a rocket launcher, which is more in line with the cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Jesse should have a rocket launcher that he can shoot Willy out
I,
at bad guys.
if this is the first episode of this show and it's got like 24 episodes, I just can't imagine what the 20th episode looks like. Like Jesse's probably he probably has a rocket launcher. Willy probably
grows legs and they are just hanging out on land now.
just
And
high
they both have
five.
rocket launchers and they're just fighting wars and
Yeah, possibly.
They
Just
both have flamethrowers and bandanas, smoking cigars.
eating everybody's food.
We've come for the fish. And Willy just sounds like Schwarzenegger now.
Yeah, might as well.
So then the cyborg tells his weird green slime henchman that they should just return to their base and forget all this crazy nonsense. Back in the mini-sub, Marlene and Jesse are about to die and Willy comes to their aid, but because he's a big dumb whale, he makes it worse and almost pushes them off the edge. Then they use the sub's external speakers, and Jesse uses his truth talker ability to communicate with Willy and instruct the whale to save them. So he does. Yay. Later, Willy says that the cyborg has been his nemesis for years and that they need to defeat him. Then they laugh and ride into the sunset.
Probably did so many cannonballs that night in celebration.
And that was Free Willy, the animated series, episode 1. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.